Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Peggy with Sweet Tea Makery. So in today's tutorial, we're going to learn the mechanics, just the mechanics in this one, of how to take the square Dollar Tree frame and you make it into a corner swag for our door. Maybe you can see it up there. There you go. So anyway, I had just finished another tutorial where I took cooling racks and I created, I'll show you quickly, I did the same thing. I created a corner swag using cooling racks from Dollar Tree. So be sure to check out that video on my channel as well. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that now and tap that bell so that you can see all these fun videos and crafting videos that I'm working on and sharing with all of you. So I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek. Again, I told you we were not actually creating the door swag itself. We're just doing the mechanics because it takes a little bit of time to do that, and so I wanted to do a separate video for you so you can see how that's done. But just to give you a sample, I'm working on one now, and so this is one that I created. I haven't finished it. I'm still working on the mesh going up, but as you can see, I've taken mesh and gone up through the center here, and then I am going up the sides on both sides, and then I'm adding some ribbons. Now I'm going to be adding some other embellishments to this as well, so be sure to check out that video as well. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do this, or a couple ideas that you can use this for. So what you're going to need is your square frame, and again, this is 14-inch, but you can get larger, but they're way more expensive. You're going to need your bolt cutters. I have in my description a list of all my supplies and where you can get them. So I did try these, and these work great for my floral stems, but I really needed this bolt cutter. I felt like it just made it easier to do and cut through it very quickly and easily. And you're going to need some pipe cleaners, and that's pretty much it for the mechanics part of it, other than some electrical tape. Now I got this electrical tape from Dollar Tree as well, and we won't use much of it, but we'll use a little bit. But if you don't want to use black, you can purchase the electrical tape in all these colors. And again, I'll tell you where you can get that as well in my description, so you can kind of color coordinate. I think that's the majority of the colors that they come in. But I'm going to tilt you down now, and we're going to take a look on how to create this corner door swag frame, work wreath frame. So I'm going to tilt you down. Let's see if we can get you adjusted so you can see. So I've already cut one here, as you can see. I'm going to put this here so you can see. I've already cut one, but I'm going to show you how I cut it, just so you can, see how it's cut. So we're going to cut here at the corner. Now what that's going to do is it's going to give us two corner frames. So you can do a matching one for your door, or if you just want to do one, you can do one. So we're going to cut, pretty much try to dead center it, and we're just going to go along here. We got one side cut, and let's do that one more time so you can see it pretty well. We're cutting right here in this corner. We're going to make two separate pieces. And again, it's pretty easy with these bolt cutters. I love them. Okay, let's just put this aside. We shouldn't need it again, but so now we've got two pieces here, right here and here. So what I do, we're only going to really need to work with one for this tutorial, because you would do the same for both. So because it has sharp edges here, I chose to use, actually I've cut some already, but I chose to use electrical tape. If you use painter's tape, it tears through. That rough part right here tears through that. I just don't prefer it. So what I'm going to do is take and cut just a little bit of electrical tape. It's wonderful because it sticks to itself. It's black. You can again use green. It's a little lighter green. But if you were using, if you were going to use a design like for deco mesh, if you really wanted it to kind of try to match, here's some good primary colors to go with. But what I'm going to do is just cover that edge, and you can just twist it on like that. And you don't need much. And what that's going to do is just help keep from scratching the wall or scratching yourself. And I just come about halfway down. Well, yeah. And we're just going to roll it around on itself. And you can trim that off if you want. And again, we're just going to roll it around. I just found that this works, you know, fairly well, and it doesn't mark up your wall. And like I said, I have a little extra there, so we can just trim it somewhat. We don't want to go all the way down where the metal pokes out. We'll just kind of move that out of the way, and that one's close enough. You can always trim it again later. And let's just quickly do a couple more. Now you can do it this way. You can fold it. It works just as good where it's long ways, and then just trim it on either side. It doesn't matter really. I prefer rolling it on this particular one. And again, it doesn't take much. Let's get this last one. And you could, some people have dabbed hot glue. I found that when I tried this with hot glue, the glue just popped right off. So I used the electrical tape, and it stayed on, and it really doesn't interfere with your design, with your mesh. And this can be used for both mesh and greenery swags, if you're using greenery, and also for silk florals. And I'll show you a little bit of that a little further down. So right now we're going to use the curved side for on top, and we're going to take a pipe cleaner. I'm not so worried about the end here. We're going to go right where this crossbar is. So we're going to fold our pipe cleaner, and we're going to come up through here where that center piece is right here, and we're just going to twist. And we want to pull it kind of tight, so we have formed a little loop there. And we'll do another one. And I'm using white pipe cleaners. You can use whatever color that you want. We're going through that top crossbar right here. Oop, go underneath. And now what I did was I went on this side right here, and now I'm going on the other side. And I'm just gonna turn it this way because it's a little bit easier for me to see. You want to pull it tight. Now it's going to be loose right now, and also this kind of helps from totally the tape, you see? It kind of helps it from all the way sliding off. That's another plus with that design. Okay, and we're going to fold it and find our center again. Okay, and now what we're going to do is go through that loop, through the center of the loop on this one. You can pull it back a little bit so you can see. And then we're going to go through the loop of the other one. Okay? And we're just going to pull it forward, and we're going to adjust that so that we have that tight against that crossbar. And I keep my pipe cleaners long because then I can always cut them off if I don't need them. Now, if you were doing a crisscross method with this, you could certainly use shorter pipe cleaners, and then you would go in the center or add to it, go into the center. I don't really think this is kind of short, so you know, you may want to do this same method and maybe put a pipe cleaner here and here where they're facing up instead of sideways. But I'm going to make a deco mesh. I'm making this one like I showed you, a deco mesh, and put that to the side. So I needed one on either side and go down through the center. Sorry, I'll need to step away real quick and shut this door a little bit. Be right back, 1 second. Hubby's in starting our dinner while I'm working on my tutorial. So we're having tacos. It's taco, instead of Taco Tuesday, it's taco, well actually we're having nachos. Instead of Taco Tuesday, it's Nacho Thursday. So again, we're going to go to that crossbar and twist. We want to kind of pull and twist at the same time. We're going to do another one. And I'll show you what we do when we get to the corner, okay? So we're on this side of the crossbar. Now we're going on the opposite side. And we'll just get it started, and I'll turn it toward me. Actually, let's turn in the opposite direction. And I give it a good 2-3 twists. Sometimes I might do 4. Okay, we're finding that center, and again, we're going to go through. If we need to pull it back again, we're going to go through that loop right here and take the other end and go through that loop. We're just going to pull it. I pull these down so they're nice and tight, and I pull this up and I twist. Okay, so we've got a center and a side and a side. So we can do our mesh in the center and we can do our mesh on the side. Now we can do a poof method on all 3 sides, or you can do all ruffle or cruffles or whatever design you come up with. You can do the you know, any design that your creativity comes up with that you can add, because it's just the wreath form that you're going to use to create your design. Okay, so when we get to the corner here, what we're going to do is just go in that corner just like that. Oops, sorry guys, it's going to slide on me just a little bit. I think I did it on the corner. I might have to look again. Actually, let's just do these first and then we'll go back and do the center. Sorry. Find our center again, and then I'll take a look at how I did the other one. Sometimes, you know, you do it and then you just forget. Well, like, now how did I do that? I know y'all do that. I had a brain fart, I guess. So we'll just do the other side so we have them. Okay, we're going to do the opposite. And again, I'm turning it toward myself. We can move this out of the way just temporarily. Might have to pull that one a little tighter, that one we just did, because I like them good and tight. Yeah. Sometimes if they're a little loose, we can just go in there and take it and twist it close. There we go. So we're going to get this one going. And again, we're going through that hole. See, there's a hole there, through that loop right here with one end, and through the other loop with the other end. And we're going to pull it on top. And remember, we had the rounded part here. Now, I do that for the deco mesh when I'm doing that. And we're going to pull these close. Pull it straight up, just like that. And then we're going to twist it tight around the bottom. Now, there's a lady, I can't remember her name right now, and but she's done some really cool stuff where she's used those cooling racks, wrong direction, and she's made a square and a rectangle and a cross, I think, but I haven't seen, to my knowledge, anyone take the cooling racks and actually make a corner swag frame. And I love corner swag frames. You can use them outside, on your door, front door outside. You can do them, you know, inside. But do take a look at that tutorial, because I also give some great ideas on how to use the corner swags for that particular tutorial. Now, if you have any questions, do put them in the comments, and if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that and tap that bell. That way it notifies you when I upload new content, whether it's actually teaching you some mechanics or actually working on swags and centerpieces and wreaths. Okay, so I've got those here. And I'm going to take a look, because I have to remember myself, y'all. How did I do that? Oh, okay. I see how I did it. Okay. Sorry. Had to take a look. So, what I did was I didn't come this way. I actually came here. Okay? I came here, right here at the corner, just like this. And I treated it just like that. Now it's you know, it's not quite as long, but it's enough that you can work with it. And I came and I did the other side like this. I knew I did it a certain way, and I was like, you know, okay. And then what I did was I wanted a centerpiece here. I think I have just enough pipe cleaners to do what I wanted to do. So this one I'm just going in this way so that I can twist it here in the center. So now I have 1, 2, 3, and counting this would be 1, 2, 3. So a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Odd numbers. And I know that seems kind of odd. I think I might have added one here, but I might not do it this time. I think I added one here because I wanted a place, if I needed to tie on a bow or an embellishment. But I'm not going to do it with this one. Let me look and see real quick. Did I do that? I think I did. Oh, I sure did not. Okay, so so right now we'll leave that one off, but you can certainly, if you feel like you need it, you can certainly add that one in there. So it's pretty quick and simple as far as the mechanics for using this mostly for deco mesh. But I wanted to quickly show you, so if you had an inexpensive garland, this is actually a swag, but I just want to show you as a reference, and you don't actually have to use all of these pipe cleaners. You can actually use the greenery to tie it down to the frame, you know, and bend it and go around this end. But if you wanted to add deco mesh, you can certainly still use your greenery to add the deco mesh just like you would a wreath. Or if you still wanted to use pipe cleaners, you can use a combination of. So I'm just kind of giving you an idea of how you can use the greenery for that. So next, let's see if we use this plain one. If I can find what to do with it again. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just set this aside for just a moment. So if we were to do So say I showed you one with a greenery, and this was doing deco mesh, and of course you can add all kinds of embellishments, you know, to it. But this is my suggestion. So you see how this has a curve to it. So if you were going to do a silk floral centerpiece, corner swag centerpiece, what I would do is actually use, of course I would add the electrical tape. I would actually use the flat side, the back side of your frame instead of the rounded side. And the reason why I say that is because, and I'm just going to use a sample piece of styrofoam, that it will lay flat on your frame. And it doesn't have to be this long, you know, you can cut it off, whatever amount that you think you're going to need, you know, for your corner swag. And then you can add, of course, once you've attached it to your frame, you can either, you know, go this way and then add another piece. We'll just use this. Add another piece that's a little taller, and I'll tell you about that too. But anyway, so you can go, you know, make a corner piece by adding to it. And how I would attach is how I do some of my other frames. I would take my awl and I would punch a hole, you know, maybe here and here all the way through, and I would take a much larger, here we go, much longer and larger zip tie, come up through the hole from the back, and then secure it that way. So in other words, the zip tie would come up through here, and I would take, this is one thing I do before you do that, is I would take a piece of pipe cleaner and just make a zigzag pattern, and you would lay it just like this. Let's trim it off. This will help when you do this way. When you add this little pipe cleaner, it gives it some stability so that it doesn't pull through. So again, actually maybe we can go ahead and do it. Anyway, you would punch a hole, you know, through your styrofoam, kind of like that, or like that. And then, of course, we might have to make it a little more. And then we would come up around our frame all the way like that. Maybe we'll flip it over. Come up through the hole. Let's see, guys. There we go. And you can actually, if you want, probably pull, yeah, I think I did it. You want to go from where your knob head is at the top, and then we're going to come back around and just go through. Kind of like this, just to give you a sample. And we're going to adjust it to the way that we want to put it on there. Okay? So say this is your piece. I, of course, would cut this off again. And we're working on the flat side of the frame. It'll quit moving around here once we get it. So then, I would go ahead and start the zip tie, just like this. And before I totally secured it down, I would just put this little zigzag of a pipe cleaner through here, just like that. You see how that's like that? Just like that. I'm going to make sure I get it level. And we'll pull it. And that just gives it some stability. And you may have to put, of course this is a longer piece, so it's kind of moving over. But you may have to do that twice, depending on the design you're going for. Again, this is a longer, much longer piece, so it's not going to fit on there quite as well. I'm just going to take that off, because we can always use that in another design. So this is this size. So it's a little over 1 inch. So that would be fine if you're just doing all florals and greenery. But if you're doing deco mesh and doing, you know, ruffles or poof, they come up a little higher. So I would use, and you don't have to use white, you can use green. I would use a thicker piece of foam on your piece, and you can put it at whatever angle your floral design is going to come. If you want it like this, you can stick it in here, and stuff coming out here. But if you're going to add some deco mesh into the actual design as well, for instance, you know, if you were going to do that, you would flip it over and use your pipe cleaners on this side, but it gives you that extra height, will kind of raise up your floral design, so that it's not, looks like it's sunken down into your mesh. So that's my only recommendation, is to go with a little thicker piece of floral foam. And so with this, you can also use the greenery garland, but you don't have to just use greenery garland. You can actually create your own sprays, and we know all how to do that. We know how to take pieces of greenery, and I'm looking for my other one. I have two of these. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. So these are just examples of how to use this work wreath that work frame we've made. So here's some other greenery. Actually, this is one I trimmed off and used. So we all know how to create our own sprays. Now you could use, of course, the thicker one, and once you've added on all your pieces, you know, any other greenery that you want to use, you know, whatever design you want to use, then of course you would bend it to form that L shape, and then you can attach it to this frame as well. So that's just an example of some different ways you can use this. I'm sure y'all can think of more ideas of how to take this and use it for your needs, for your designs that you're working on. And I'm going to lift you up real quick here, and pardon my hands, y'all. Let's see if we can get that going. So I kind of want to give you an overall look of how this works. So we have our ties here, 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 and here, and I think I may have added one here. I can't remember, but y'all, it's supposed to be a tutorial on the mechanics. So, but if you need that one here, you can add it here. So this is what it kind of looks like. It has that L shape. And remember, if we're doing a greenery one, we would, instead of using the rounded side, we would flip it over and use the flat side. And we're using the electrical tape, you know, to get those rough edges. And I'll show you again a little sneak peek of the one that I'm working on now. Again, I've got some deco mesh still attached to it. And in that tutorial, I'll show you specifically how to hide that bottom part right there, how I put it together. So check out that video. And I'll just show you quickly, if y'all want to go check out my cooling rack video tutorial. I do 2 different sizes of the cooling racks, and it shows you all how to put that together as well. And it's really great because you can make it as long as you want, or you know, long on the side or long this way. So one thing I want to mention is that so how you hang this on the corner of your door. And what I do is I use command strips that have hooks, and I place them on the door frame itself. Now some people use screws or eyelets or nails, but I really don't want to put a hole in my wood, so I use those command strips that have the hooks, and I place that on there. And then what I do is I create and you can use either one of these. Now I'm using pipe cleaners here, but if you have access to the tinsel rope, this is a lot stronger than pipe cleaners. So you could actually create your own pipe cleaner if you want, per se, or tie, in other words, using your tinsel ties. And so you could take that and use a hook. You can use any way. You can use bind wire. You can use the heavier gauge, grapevine looking type wire, whatever you want to make your hooks, so that you could hook it onto the command hook and hang it on the wall. Now, if you're worried about any scratching, this is pretty smooth, but it has some rough places. This is tape, so it shouldn't do any damage. But if you're really concerned about it, you can use some felt, and attach it, glue it on there. I'm just not going to do that. This is too much work for me. Or you can do that old trick where you take some extra leaves, which I save all my silk floral extra leaves, and you can glue some on the places that you think is going to touch on the wall, and add that to it, especially if you're using greenery. But there's a number of ways that you can protect that and make it look nice. Just depends on what you feel you want to do in your business, or what you feel your client wants. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and again, I'll be doing some tutorials, actually making some of these corner swags, and I'll be using the poof method, and you can use the ruffle method and the curl, little curly Q method, all the different ones that I can think of, because I'm so excited since I created these frames and I did this idea that now I've just got tons of ideas on how to make some of the greenery garlands, and using it with greenery and silk florals, and really you can use this for any season. I know predominantly a lot of times people use this for Christmas, but you can make this a fall corner, a spring. You could do, like with the one I'm doing here, it's actually elf. I'm going with an elf theme in this one, but you can do Santa, you can do anything you want. And so up here you can put your bow, here, or a bow here and here, whatever your design is. And I've got some cute little elf, legs that I'm going to incorporate into that. And again, same thing you do with any of your deco mesh wreaths, is just adding your embellishments. Here's some snowballs, and of course, I'd have to, hot glue it in and work it in, but you can get the idea. And I'm using a combination here, so anyway, I thought I'd share that little idea with you all. And if you like this video, give me some thumbs up, and comment below if you have any questions. Let me know if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to tap that bell so you get notified when I go live. So right now, I'm getting close, to the number of subscribers that I need in order to actually go live. So right now, in the YouTube world, you cannot go live until you have 1,000 subscribers. So the more that people share and the more people that subscribe, the closer I get to that number, and that I can actually go live on a specific night or evening with you guys. So right now, all I can do is videotape it, unfortunately. So again, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you can use this. I'd love to see them. I'm over on Facebook at Sweet Tea Makery. That's the whole word, Sweet Tea, T-E-A, Makery. And I'm also on Instagram. So at that same username. And I'd love to see your creations. So y'all have a blessed night. And I thank you so much again for joining me and supporting me. Bye now.